Over a year ago, Editor 1 and I produced a top 10 list of my saltiest video game moments of 2017. I spewed a few incoherent opinions, and he added a nice layer of meme-infused humor. Despite our better judgment, we plan to make a similar video for 2018. Considering it's March now, we can safely say neither of us are good at respecting timelines, but one thing is certain. 2018 was a year of video games which fueled my furnace of hatred. There's nothing I quite like more than stewing on bad times in my life, so let's start reliving the top 10 saltiest video game moments of 2018. We begin with an honorable mention, Puda, chosen as Player 2's saltiest video game. Although seemingly bright and full of childlike innocence, Puda is purgatory in which the frame rate chugs along as quickly as the gameplay. If you aren't getting stuck in rocks or struggling with the camera, you'll tackle puzzles that either involve simply walking or mental gymnastics worthy of a gold medal. In the words of Player 2, don't quote me in your stupid video. Number 10. Clusterpuck 99. Imagine setting up a death match between 6 Roombas with knives strapped to them. You've seen the pictures on the internet about this, and you know it's a cool idea. We can pretend that the Roombas would brutally maim each other, but in reality, they most likely would just lodge themselves in the wall or in corners and contemplate their life choices. Clusterpuck is like a Roomba deathmatch, except without knives, and the Roombas still get stuck in the corners. I trusted Clusterpuck with my dreams, and it gave me an endless game of fetch. Number 9. Payday 2. Editor 1 shares a perverted love for this game, so I have to be careful how much I criticize this sneaky stealthy shoot-'em-up.
What you say? That you only meant well.
Lest I suffer his editing wrath. Let's just say I wanted to rob banks and kill cops with a flamethrower. Payday 2 decided that at a certain level, enemies would just stop burning, like lizard people. I felt like I was shooting just spray tan all over them. That's not even fair. It's not fair. It's just not fair. If I can't destroy the world with fire, I don't even want to be a bank robber. Number 8. Roguelites. Last year I played Dead Cells, Crypt of the Necrodancer, and Goner. And the year before that, I played Enter the Gungeon, Neurovoider, and Tumbleseed. I'm sick of roguelites, and when you play too much of them, it starts to feel more and more just like regular life. Every day you wake up to a procedurally generated world which is as hard as balls. Luck can screw you over, and by the end of the day, you wonder if you've made any progress at all. Too many roguelites have sucked the soul out of me, and I no longer have a soul to give a shit. Sorry, Satan. Number 7. Grim Fandango. I'm all for getting hot and heavy for video game classics, but Grim Fandango reeks of backwards video game logic. I'm by no means the best puzzle solver, but I'm wondering who would get these puzzles on the first try. For one puzzle, you have to get 2 uninflated balloons, fill them with packing fluid, and shove them and a baguette down a pneumatic tube system to clog it up, thus forcing a mechanic to fix them. If you forgot to hole punch a playing card earlier at the receptionist's desk in order to keep the door open after the mechanic leaves, you'll have to do this whole damn thing over again. It's dumb! I know I had to cheat to solve the puzzle. I know it's my own damn fault I messed it up 3 times. I know that's how video games were back in the day, but you know what? It's Grim Fandango. It's number 5! Number 7. Again. Angels of Death. The game was supposed to be fun. It was supposed to have an engaging story, a cute little mystery, at the very least some hilariously bad dialogue. It gave me nothing. Just bad, boring content. As a bad, boring YouTuber, it offends me that a game could be so utterly awful to record. Number 6. Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight is a great game. It's very fair. It has a great challenge that I looked forward to overcome. I never died for stupid reasons. I never had to spend half my play sessions backtracking. I certainly never forgot why I put an unmarked button on the map. No, of course I would never get lost and wander aimlessly, wasting my time on some stupid game that everyone thinks is God's divine toe fungus. No, I'm too calm for that. Number 5. Grim Fandango. You, Grim Fandango. Number 4, Fortnite. You already know why this game is on this list. If the mere mention of Fortnite didn't send you into whiny convulsions, you can acknowledge the game makes people salty. It's even Editor won Saltiest Game of 2018. He's normally a calm person, but Fortnite makes him plot how to kill 12-year-olds. We may need to call the police, but I get it. When lag kills you or your bolts magically go through your opponents, you get salty. There's also times when we just play badly, but I'll be damned if I ever admit to that being the case. Number 3, Pixel Junk Monsters 2. I bought this game day 1 because I loved the co-op in the first one. Player 2 bought a second copy on day 1 once we realized the camera made it impossible for us to play. We gave up on playing when we found out the online play jittered like a small child on crack, a small petty child which refused to track anyone's progress except the host's. When we finally returned to the game a few months later, we found it to have been updated to make local co-op somewhat more tolerable. Essentially, we bought a whole extra copy when we didn't need it. That's $15 worth of salt for a bland sequel, and that tastes horrible. Number 2, Runner 3. Here we have another awful sequel which added unnecessary elements. Innovation keeps a series fresh, but in Runner 3's case, it was like salt on raw meat. Sure, the salt preserved the meat, but it also dehydrated all the fun out of it. This sequel's newest feature was a set of poor design choices which limited the player's ability to see their character and upcoming obstacles. Objects in the foreground obscure the action, the camera shifts to destroy all depth perception, and key items get lost in the murky mess of colors vomited over the screen. Number 1, Aegis Defenders. Aegis Defenders acts like a freshman college student who just took Introduction to Philosophy. It thinks it's more clever than it is, it pretends to be complex but comes off as a tryhard, and ends up doing nothing well in its attempts to do everything. Whether it was the awkward control scheme, the simplistic combat, the forced humor, or the migraine-inducing camera, Aegis Defenders seemed to piss me off every time I played it. At least with last year's Saltiest Game 9 Parchments, I could play the game. Aegis Defenders made me dread my console and question my sanity until I gave up all hopes of finishing it. And that's all, folks. What games made you salty this past year? In the spirit of Dora the Explorer, feel free to tell your stories to the blank screen in the silence that follows this video. Well, bye. Number 1. Shut up. No coughing. Stop. Stop.